the PPP lender that I am about to show you in this video increased my Paycheck Protection Program loan, which essentially becomes a grant as long as I use it on approved expenses, from a PPP grant of $8,542.50 to 2 Paycheck Protection Program grants of $41,666.67. As you very well know, the Small Business Administration is now allowing sole proprietors, independent contractors to factor gross income that they enter in line 7 of Schedule C of IRS Form 1040 to determine the amount of Paycheck Protection Program loan / grant for which they qualify. They just released the new rules. The lender that has already incorporated the systems that is allowing applicants for the Paycheck Protection Program loans to request the full Paycheck Protection Program loan amount for which they qualify under these new rules. In other words, factoring in that gross income that you include on line 7 of Schedule C is Womply. This is my referral landing page. Again, as I told you on my previous video, on my most recent video where I explained to you exactly what was the process of me applying for a Paycheck Protection Program loan under the new formula. If you apply for a Small Business Administration Paycheck Protection Program loan using this referral landing page, then Womply pays me a fee. I have partnered with them. You do not pay anything. They pay me a fee in order to have you apply for this. So you decide. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take this as financial advice. Seek professional help, whoever it is that you go out and talk to before you make these type of decisions. All I am telling you that this is what has worked for me, because I applied for the Paycheck Protection Program loan for the first and second draw using Womply. And basically you go through here, and the beauty of using it, for me at least, like I told you, I'm not a financial advisor, is that Womply simultaneously is allowing me to apply for the first and second draw of the Paycheck Protection Program loan, which is why I qualify for grants of $41,666.67. So again, that's up to you. Here are the new rules as per the Small Business Administration's IFR, interim final rules, that they released yesterday. I have income from self-employment and file an IRS Form 1040 Schedule C. How do I calculate the maximum amount I can borrow, and what documentation is required? How you calculate the maximum loan amount depends upon whether you employ other individuals. If you have no employees, use the following methodology. So most of you that are watching this video, you fall under the condition of having no employees. So you simply pay yourself using the proceeds from the Paycheck Protection Program. Again, the loan, which essentially becomes a grant as long as you use it on approved expenses. 60% on payroll costs. So if you're an independent contractor, sole proprietor, single member LLC, in other words, if you are what the Small Business Administration refers to as a non-employer firm, 60% of that should go towards paying yourself. 40% of those costs, we'll go ahead and go through the requirements right here in this IFR. Step 1. From your 2019 or 2020 IRS Form 1040 Schedule C. So you could either use the figure that you entered in line 7 of your 2019 or 2020 taxes. You may elect to use either your line 31 net profit, so you could use either one. You could either use your net profit and qualify for a smaller amount of money, or your line 7 gross income amount. If you're using 2020 to calculate payroll costs and have not yet filed a 2020 return, fill it out and compute the value. So if for some reason you can't produce your 2019 tax return, your 1040 from 2019, go ahead and file your 2020 and use whatever you entered in line 7 or line 31. It's all up to you. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. And then you will be able to compute the value using the new formula. If this amount is over $100,000, reduce it to $100,000. A number of you did tell me in the comments section 2 videos ago, you have to cap the amount of income that you factor when calculating the amount of Paycheck Protection Program loan / grant for which you qualify at 100 grand. And there it is. If both your net profit and gross income are 0 or less, you are not eligible for a PPP loan. I did not cap the amount of money that I factored into my example scenario 2 videos ago because I saw, listen, these are new rules. Perhaps there was not that cap. But then I read further, and indeed, the cap is pursuant to the CARES Act. So they'll have to amend the law and in order to change that. Now, I did speak to one of my contacts over at the Small Business Administration, and he told me that he did not know whether the Small Business Administration would eventually lift that cap. He did not have a crystal ball. Those were his words. Calculate the average monthly net profit or gross income amount. Divide the amount from step 1 by 12. That's so you can see how much of, what's the average amount of money that you're spending on payroll, that you're paying yourself every month. Multiply the average monthly net profit or gross income from step 2 by 2.5, and this amount cannot exceed $20,833. Again, because you have to cap the amount of gross income that you factor into this formula at $100,000. Add the astounding amount of any economic injury disaster loan made between January 31st, 2020 and April 3rd, 2020 that you seek to refinance. Do not include the amount of any advance under an EIDL 19 loan because it does not have to be repaid. So under previous rules, you had to include your grant, the amount of grant that you received from the Small Business Administration through the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. However, according to new rules, you do not have to do that anymore. You don't have to factor, but you do add the amount of economic injury disaster loan that you received between January 31st and April 30th of 2020 if you did so. I'm pretty sure that most of you are not in that bucket. You must provide the 2019 or 2020, whichever you use to calculate your loan, IRS Form Schedule C with your PPP loan application. If you apply using Womply on my referral landing page, then they'll give you a part of the application portal where you have the opportunity to go ahead and upload that document. If you have employees, then you use this. If you want me to go through this more in depth, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. If you just want to go ahead and read this, I've included a link to this IFR on this beautiful, and that's your words, not mine, business spreadsheet where I list information resources and links to application portals to grants for everyone and all these business resources on the Small Business Resources page. You have it right here. Well, actually, I listed it on the grants page right here where it reads PPP application with Womply. Again, listing my landing page. PPP application. So this is the application itself. I'll go ahead and review that real quick, and I'll just walk you through how you can perform that calculation and entering those figures on there so you have an understanding. You don't have to use this application to which I link in the spreadsheet if you use the referral landing page on Womply. And here, this is the IFR that we're reviewing at this particular point in time, just in case you want to get more in depth with it. So we can go down and we'll see what you can use the proceeds on. And if you look at page 14, it'll tell you what you can use the proceeds of the Paycheck Protection Program loan / grant on. So for borrowers that use net profit to calculate loan amount, owner compensation replacement calculated based on 2019 or 2020, using the same year that you use in order to calculate the amount of loan for which you qualify, net profit as described in subsection B. For borrowers that use gross income to calculate loan amount, proprietor expenses, business expenses plus owner compensation. For borrowers who used gross income to calculate the loan amount and have no employees, proprietor expenses equal gross income. Okay, so this will give you all the requirements right here. Employee payroll costs, mortgage interest payments on any other debt obligations, so to credit cards. Such amounts are not eligible that were incurred before February 15th, 2020. So you can use it on interest payments for any other debt obligations. Refinancing an SBA EIDL loan made between January 31st, okay? Remember, you would add that into the product of 2.5 times the average of your payroll costs if you received a EIDL loan between January and April. Covered property damage costs, covered supplier costs, covered worker protection expenditures as defined in section 7A. And you can go ahead and read through that in the spreadsheet. I'll leave links to my referral landing page in the body of the video description below. So you can go ahead and review that. And for a number of you that I've read in the comments section, and it almost happened to me. It was a blessing in disguise that when I applied through Bluevine, they actually rejected my application, because now I was able to essentially file an application with Womply, okay? So for a number of you who already filed your application, perhaps already received it, the Small Business Administration is not allowing applicants to request more money, even if they qualify for more money, factoring in gross income. Again, the figure that you entered in line 7 of Schedule C. So I welcome you, and I tell you, listen, go ahead and speak to the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship so they can fix that. As you very well know, in previous videos, we have been able to open a line of communication with the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business Administration, the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship. And these are the people that actually engineered the Paycheck Protection Program and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. So go ahead and contact them. Click the About section. There's a contact section. If you scroll down, they have their phone number listed, 202-224-5175, and you'll see a link to their contact form where you can go ahead and tell them, listen, yes, you changed the rules. However, I received my first draw Paycheck Protection Program loan. Can you please ensure that Small Business Administration allows me to request more money for which I qualify, factoring gross income that I included in line 7 of my Schedule C IRS Form 1040. Now, the beauty of using Womply, to me, again, I'm not a financial advisor, is that they simultaneously allow you to apply for the first and second draw of the Paycheck Protection Program. They file both applications for you. And thus, that's what qualifies me to receive 2 Paycheck Protection Program loans / grants equal to $41,666.67. Talk soon.